Okay, this is Dave again coming at you from Michigan, southeast Michigan. I'll just continue going on so the videos aren't that long. Yeah, here's the laundry box though. One thing too, you gotta have the surge arresters for the water pressure on the supply lines that I wanted to point out. This does have to be 2-inch for the drain for laundry. This is for any supply lines that have an electric solenoid or anything that's going to be turning off immediately. So when this washer machine's going and letting water in, when that valve shuts off, unlike turning off a manual faucet, they instantaneously get pulled in from the electric solenoid, which will create an immediate stop of that water. So when that water stops, to protect your equipment and fittings from having too much pressure and to protect the appliance itself, this will spring in. It'll kind of just suppress that pressure inside the pipe when it shuts off right away. So I figured I'd point that out. Oh, I did want to talk about, like I said, there's a lot of videos out there that will tell you when it comes to the drains. Let's go upstairs. I'll show you what we did up there. You cannot put a T on its back, which means it's horizontal and then a drain pipe or a vent pipe comes into the top of it, because that's too steep for the water to drain. It's a gray area, and a lot of people are asking through like plumbing forums and stuff, but the code actually is, no matter what, you cannot put a horizontal T laying on its back to provide even a dry vent, which I think is kind of a little bit silly, because I'll show you when we go in the basement really quick. I actually did it and got away with it, and I'm not even... The inspector allowed me to break the code because he might think it's ridiculous, or maybe I labeled it vent only, so he might have. But the reason behind it, and inspectors will say that if you ever add a future bathroom upstairs or something like that, now you do have a dry vent that has now been turned into an official drain. A vertical drain to a horizontal drain must have a Y45 combo fitting or a T that has a slow 90. But in my case, I did it because I didn't want the part of the Y combo or the slow T to protrude out of the side of the wall. I'm just filming this because we're talking plumbing, even though this isn't really related to what I'm saying. But anyways, right here, you know, this is a good example of, right here, you have an 1.5 inch P-trap. The trap arm goes from here. See how we only enlarged it to a bigger drain, because I still wanted it to be a bigger drain than the 1.5 inch for the tub. But I had to leave it from there. This would be considered the trap arm. So here is 1.5 inch. The trap arm is from here to here before the vent goes up. This section has to stay the same pipe, same size as the P-trap. And then once we got past that, I just put an enlarger. They call it a reducer, but in the way the water's flowing, it enlarges into a 2-inch, which is this pipe. The reason why we have this pipe goes all the way up and bypasses. This ends up going all the way out to the 2nd story. All that pipe is a future 2-inch vent for my bottom bathroom right here. That's all it is. Just thinking ahead, you want to be able to have an easy pipe to tie into to vent the bathroom down there. So let's just go upstairs real quick. I'll show you what we did there. This is where another manifold, vent manifold is. And what I mean by a vent manifold is you just have multiple fixtures within a plumbing group that needs a vent, but it ties all together and goes out one area out of the roof. So in this case, this is the one that's for the laundry tub. We just found it's easier, instead of tying into that group way back there, just to come up, and we just tied it into this one and went right out the roof there. This one comes down, hits this one back here behind me that I just showed you, and then it travels down. It picks up this one, and we did reduce that down. I did that to where water can't pool in there, but I don't think it'd be a big deal. This one here is protect the sink. This one here is vented. See, we're within the 12 feet. And even the 6 feet if we went with the uniform plumbing code. Here's the vent for that, ties in. We've got another one that comes along. Same thing. This looks goofy, but the reason why I did that is because, you know, on a house this big, I'm not worried too much about spending a little extra on fittings. The slope comes this way, and if we would have reduced it up there, there would have been water pooling in there a little bit, which is no big deal because it won't pool beyond the 1.5 inches that's required for venting. But doing 3-inch sloping down, and then that makes it to where there's no water that's ever going to be trapped up in there, which that's just my OCD. I could have just reduced it first and then 90, but then, you know what I mean? You'd have that little ramp that creates a little bit of water in there. We just maintained this 3-inch because it's picking up the future vent, the one I showed you that's going up the wall, which is this one right here. See, this one just bypasses everything and just ties into the vent system. This is the vent, the one I showed down there that, oh, there's my broom. This is the vent from here. Sometimes you have to get creative. You'll always find a way to do it. You're always going to find a way to vent stuff. Sometimes you even have to fur out stuff. Let me just run down real quick. I'll show you that since we have to go down here anyways to do the basement stuff. All right, 6 minutes. Oh, real quick. Here's a way that we do the tubs. We put the tub in. We put nice soft rags on the corners, and 2 in the middle. 3/4 inch plywood, and then we protect it with the wall. This ensures that when the drywall guys are doing their things, they drop a caulk gun, they drop a big old thing of screws out of their pouch or whatever. This actually acts as a scaffold as well. I just think this is a good thing. You can actually hop up here and dance around it all you want, and it's not going to hurt this tub at all, and it's very secure. The only time you have to pop this off is when you actually start putting your hardy backer board on and start doing your tile. But with the hardy backer board, you can actually put it all in here. Just don't screw the bottom part and get all the hardy backer in without this even being moved. Take it off, put a drop cloth inside your tub, get your tile laid out for your first row, get the first row thin set it on, and just put this back on. And then you can just tile up as far as you want all the way to the ceiling, and you never have to worry about your tub being damaged. So that's how we did it. This we took off. We have it leaning up, but we'll fasten that back on there. So here, what do we have here? Here's a pipe going up here. Here's toilet, goes over here. This is all cold air return all through here. So that's why we did this way. We had to bring this away from the cold air to go down. This right here is a pipe. You can see it ties into the manifold for the vent manifold that goes out right there. Here's another like plumbing group. This one just takes care of just this bathroom because it didn't make sense to bring all these way back over there. This vent is for the toilet, which will eventually tie into the main branch of the plumbing system that goes out. The septic field pipe's going to go out that way. So then we have the back master bathroom here. We do have the tubs too. The jacuzzi tubs are on site to do this here, but here's the manifold up here. We had that, like I said, on the other ones, we had that pipe already coming down, which makes it so much easier because we were doing this when there was snow on the roof and there's no way I'm climbing up there to do that. We got this vent pipe that will, for the toilet. We did individual sink drains just because I didn't want to do the double T because it just, more drilling through the studs, and you know these are 2x4 studs and more nail plates and all that stuff. So we just did these. All right, I'm gonna go downstairs real quick just to show you what we're doing down there. I just can't wait to get back on this. We have about 2 weeks. My goal is like April 1st. Worst case scenario, the first week of April, or or the second week of April. Worst case scenario if the stuff at the rental house doesn't go my way, but I think we have about 2 more weeks to get that. Let me turn this light on real quick. You can see we've got the flange there. There's the vent pipe kind of waiting for it to be tied in when we do it. And over here, we have the main line, and when you're laying out plumbing, just think of it like straight lines. You don't really want things to run diagonal. The way that the framing's built is try to run your pipes as parallel as you can, but what we did here, this is literally right where we stopped. This was the last 4-inch pipe hanger because we are making our main branch 4-inch because we're just above the 3-inch for the fixture units. We have like 54 fixture units. So you can see this is how we do it. We just stub the stuff down. So when we're doing this plumbing, but anyways, what we did here, I brought that down 1.5 inches because we knew that we were still going to be sloping 3-inch pipe to this point at 1/8 inch per foot. So we knew that by the time we ate up that 1.5 inches, we would be pretty much close to being right up to the joist on here. And it's only running to this distance here to pick up these two. This is the furthest plumbing pipe we have in the whole house. Nothing is this way. So from here, 3-inch, it's going to come across 3-inch 45 to a 4-inch, have a clean out facing that way. So what we did is we figured this out all the way down. 1/8 inch per foot is 0.125. So it was like 90 feet multiplied by 1.25. You know, you've got like, I think we ended up with like 15 inches. This is a good case of like, okay, 4-inch pipe. It's more than enough 1/8 inch per foot. I wish we could have done 1/4 inch per foot slope on this, but by the time we went that down this way, I'll show you the reason. You know, you're traveling such a far distance, you get into these sloping problems with 1/4 inch per foot where, you know, you're gonna, you can see that this right here, the string represents, I think this, yeah, the string represents the top of the 4-inch. So our 4-inch will be about 3 inches still above this window. And then you can see that we put our nail. This string is pulled extremely tight. And then what we did is we just put these nails here just to make sure that the string's not sloping, like right here. So if you pull the string off here, see that little slope? We made sure that we did the math so you can see that that's a decent amount of slope to be hanging. So even if you do stuff like this with a string, as the string flexes out, so I guarantee you the string isn't as tight as when we first set it, because you know it's been 3 months, unfortunately, since we've done it. Another thing in construction, right here, there's where the tub is. There's where the toilet flange is. We have a lot going on here. The HVAC guys put their cold air return right in the way. It's not their fault. We knew it was going to go there, but we just took this whole section down. Matter of fact, we took all of this down. All the way here, we just took it all down because we have some plumbing pipes there. That looks kind of cool with the light shining through. There's the future vent. There's the drain that's going to come over and tie in and come down to this main line. So, you know, that's just, you know, you just have to, sometimes you got to take some stuff down to get access, and then we'll probably get the plumbing inspected first and then have that all open for them. And then these won't take that long to put back in. You just put the the boxes up and put the S-cleats in. And then the main pipe's going to come down here. And then I just got an idea. I can't put the 3-inch that comes back from that bathroom. It cannot go on the face of this wall because this is right where my electrical panels are. So then I started thinking, well, there's enough room in here. This is 3.5 inches, so it's just enough. But then it will be in the way of the insulation, and then, you know, it's down below the ground. But then I started thinking, what if the inspector said, what if this got clogged and we didn't know, we went on vacation, and then the pipe could technically freeze because it's not quite 42 inches down. I started thinking that. Then just actually yesterday I was thinking about it. I'm not a septic guy. I'm assuming instead of we were going to bring this here. Sorry, I'm probably getting you guys dizzy watching this video, but this main pipe, it's going to come down right through here, and then to pick up the tub and the shower, it's going to come down right through here. This will tie in, but then I was thinking, instead of going back behind this wall and going all the way up that way, it might make sense to just go out, take some of these studs out. I don't really want to, but I could probably get the 3-inch to fit through here, even if we had to bring this wall out slightly more. And we could just go straight out underground here and then do the T before it goes into the septic tank underground outside. Might be the better way to go. There'll be less turns in this pipe, less cleanouts I have to put in, and it might work out. It might work out. We'll have to figure that out. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not screwing that up. I'm assuming you can go out 2 separate locations in the building. Yeah, feel free to leave any comments if that's not the case, but I don't see the harm in going out multiple locations and then teeing it underground, as long as you got to clean out right, as it goes out. But anyways, back over here real quick. So this house, even though it's big and it's got a lot of plumbing, we kind of figured the best way to lay it out is to have a 4-inch main running straight down all the way through here, and then all of the pipes throughout the whole house will tee in the branch line this way. And then we just took the line, pulled it really tight, and I put a block with some number 8 nails in here, and got some nice heavy duty straps from an industrial online company. And I've just been putting the fitting right at the top of that strap, equal on all of them, making sure that you're not touching it too low when you're doing that, because then you can alter the 1/8 inch per drop if you start messing and pulling on the string. But as a whole, you'll go all the way down. Even if you did mess up with the string, you're eventually going to end up to the lower measurement down here. So here was what I was talking about with, you're not allowed to put any tees on their back. This one has a tee on its back. Now, the only reason why it would fail in the future is if you ever made this an actual drain line. But the way that this is built, you have a bathroom that's right above, and then you have trusses that are only like 3 feet high above that. So in a real case scenario, you would never, ever in 1,000 years, ever add a drain pipe to this pipe. The inspector allowed me to put a T on its back for a dry vent because I wrote right on it, dry vent only. I think I covered that in the previous video. I knew they could possibly knock me for this. And it's not a big deal, but I just didn't want the fitting to maybe possibly protrude out of the wall if I would have used a combo, a 45 to a Y to a 45 combo. Now that I look at it, I probably could have gotten away with it, but yeah. But never break that rule in any plumbing unless you have to and you get it approved that it will only and forever be a dry vent only, or else you will get knocked from that. But anyways, yeah, any questions you guys have, like I got this stuff studied up pretty good, and I'll probably forget it in about 6 months, but if you have any questions on the codes and stuff, let me know. Here's one more thing too. Once you get into the vent system, you have to start putting the fittings upside down. They want it to travel. If you had this flipped the other way, vent wise, it's not gonna do anything different. And then I had to do some goofy stuff too, like this one. Look how goofy this one looks. You're technically not supposed to mess with eye joists, but in this case, this eye joist is only there to maintain 16 on center. That's the only reason. You got this LVL here. So if the inspector said, oh, you can't do that, that's in violation, I'd be like, dude, it's still on the point load here and there. Same thing with this right here. They have very stringent codes about drilling through LVLs. Well, I got a big 3-inch through there and a 2-inch, but my argument would be like, you've got a doubled up 14-inch LVL, which is strong as hell, that literally spans 2.5 feet from that point load, and this is a point load. These are actual columns in the basement that are supporting this. So even if you drill it through here, it's like, yeah, you're dealing with an 8-foot span, but structurally, it's my house and I'm going to live here and I want it built the best of the best. So I saw that as like, that's no brainer. And if they try to challenge me on it, it's like, you're spanning a 2.5 foot span with 2 doubled up. Like, how much weight are you carrying up above there at that point? So that should be fine. We maintained the 1/4 inch per foot on these. I actually did a 1/4 inch per foot as well on this one, just because I just had the space to do it on this 3-inch. And what else? Oh, and then you'll run into stuff like this. since we're having this bigger pipe in here, we actually furred this closet space out another 1.5 inches. I still got to put my backer here, and then I might as well fur this closet out too, just to match the depth of them when I'm all done before I drywall. So just stuff like that. Sometimes in order to make pipes work, you've got to build another wall in front of a wall, or you have to build a drop ceiling somewhere to make things work. So this right here was pretty much the only way that we could get these pipes down through here. Same thing with this one. We had to be kind of creative because we couldn't go this way because there's nothing there to drop the pipes down. So we had to shoot them over this way and come down this way. So anyways, that's where we're at. We're gonna, as soon as we're done with the stuff on the rental houses, we're gonna be down in the basement, continuing to put the straps on and start running that 4-inch main and getting that going. And by then the weather will be getting a little bit warmer. Oh, real quick though, I was gonna show you this. I kind of got in front of myself here. Up here we can go through there, but down here we have the same stuff down here, but in this case, I was almost thinking, well, maybe I'll just put like a Studer vent in here, but I don't like Studer vents because they can fail, and then if it gets flooded, it's not good. So I just came out here, and so there's gonna be a bar sink here. So I just figured once we put the sink in here, we'll be able to cut a hole, slide the cabinet in, and still get our drain line down through here. Right through here, if we try to get this drain line through this 2x6, this is solid wood down there with LVLs and I-joists, and then below that there's a beam, and I'm like, there's no way. So in a case like this, we could have done it over here, but we don't want the sink and the fixture to be in the way of the view from the front door to the door wall in the back. So the sink says it's on this side of the print. It feels better to be on this side of the print because this is where like the kitchen is closer to this sink, and it just made sense. So this seems a little bit weird, but that will almost be finished. We'll put the flooring down and everything first, drywall around it, and then once the cabinet goes in, we're just gonna cut a hole in the cabinet that you'll never see. Probably that will even cover that one off like this, just a big hole, and then just slide the first cabinet right up against there, and then drill a hole through the cabinet, stub a pipe down, and then finish gluing it there at that point. So yeah, just stuff like that. Sometimes it's just like a little construction riddle that you have to figure out. But anyways, this video is getting pretty long, so I'll cut it here. This is Dave signing off.